Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel today. I hope everyone is doing good. I hope my connection is also good as well, as I know there was problems on StreamYard yesterday. And yeah, today I'm going to do a different type of video. I'm going to be doing a keep, loan, sell type of video, as I haven't done one of these yet and I wanted to do this. I will obviously do one of the women's team as well. As I know, I do a lot of content with Arsenal women, so yeah, I'm going to do a mixture of that, a mixture for the women's team on my next video. But yeah, today I'm going to talk about the men's team and which players that I would keep, which players that I would sell, and loan. So yeah, guys, I'm going to start off with the goalkeepers, and then I'm going to start off, build up to the attackers of which players that I would do. So big up to everyone as well that is in this chat that is watching. I know I'm a little bit earlier today, so yeah, I'm going to start off with David Raya. Obviously, I think it's quite obvious that he's definitely a big part of our future, so he's definitely going to stay. I think, we've all really built that bond with Raya. We've all built a bit of a connection with him now. I know when he first came in, there was a bit of a rift in me with we all of Ramsdale, and obviously that didn't work out, so it was quite a tough one. Um, but yeah, David Raya has really proven himself. He's done such a great job, and I think we can all say that we really trust him to do that job, and he's definitely been up there for Player of the Season. Obviously, everyone will have a different opinion on their Player of the Season, but I definitely can say he's done such a great job, and yeah, he's been amazing for Arsenal. So yeah, for me, David Raya is definitely one for the future, and he's definitely one that should absolutely stay. Now, our other goalkeeper, Neto, I think it's a shame that he's never had many opportunities. I think we can all probably say he's probably played one or two games, and for me, it's a real shame that he never really got other opportunities to play. Arteta's never really given him much of a chance, which I think is a bit of a shame. I think it would have been nice to rest David Raya in some opportunity in some games, but yeah, I think with Neto, we all know it's not worked out, and the best thing is to move him on. But like I said, it's a disappointment because we never really got to see much of him, and I think if we're being honest, we do want a backup goalkeeper that is going to play a lot more games, that can do a really good job, that can step up and be reliable. So I think with Neto, I think I can't really make a big judgment on him as a player because we never really saw much of him. And for that, that's obviously a real shame that Arteta hasn't really wanted to give him many appearances. Like even in the cup games, I think those are the opportunities that would have been great to play him, but Arteta clearly didn't want to give him that chance in them games. So for me, I do feel a bit disappointed that it didn't work out for him, but it definitely, I think obviously with Kepa going to come in, hopefully, I think that is probably the right thing to do to, move him on. Um, so yeah, to anyone that is just watch this now, I would keep Raya. I probably would loan or move back Neto, I think. So yeah, let me know, guys, while I'm talking through this, what everyone's thoughts are. We do have a lot of defenders, so I am going to go through the defenders. So let me start off with Saliba. I think we all know Saliba is definitely a big part of Arsenal's future, and he's really proven himself over these last few years. You know how incredible he is. He's really established himself, and obviously we never know in the future if he would move on. But I would love him to stay at Arsenal for a very long time and to help us win some silverware. But yeah, I definitely think he is one for the future. And I would love to see him stay for quite a while. As yeah, I do really like him, and I think that he has done such a great job. Um, so yeah, Saliba, I do hope that he will stay with us for a very long time. I think he's definitely really shown his worth. Him and Gabriel as well, they both have. I know Gabriel has just signed a new deal, which is obviously amazing. Gabriel's definitely going to stay for me, one for the future. He's just extended the deal, so he's hoping he can stay at Arsenal for a little while. Big up Champions 25. Will you do this for the women? Yes, I will. I'm going to do a separate video. Possibly tomorrow night or Sunday. I will do one for the women because it would be too long just do it in one big video. So yeah, do watch out for that. I did say at the start of the video I was going to do one for Arsenal women as well, because there's obviously a lot to talk about. I know a few players have left Arsenal women already, but yeah, I'll be doing one for that for sure. It'll be a live one as well. So yeah, I'll probably do that in the next few days or maybe next week. So yeah, Gabrielle Saliba, they are definitely ones to stay and ones for the future. I think they've both really shown that they're just at the top of their game right now, and it's amazing to see how well they're doing. Um, Ben White, let's talk about Ben White, because I would keep him. I think that we do need that squad depth right now. I think Timber's really shown himself, and I think with Timber, I think he really does deserve to start, because he's had such a big injury. And I think a lot of us didn't really expect him to be this good, and he has been. He's really done so well. He's been so consistent. I think the only difference is, I think, with Ben White is that I think Ben White is possibly better going forward. I think with Timber, I feel more confident in him defensively. I think defensively he's amazing and he's done such a great job. So yeah, that's an interesting one. And Ben White obviously definitely has a future at Arsenal, but I probably see him more as a bench player. I see him more as someone that would probably a bit of rotation. I mean, and you know what, he'll want to really start next season. He's obviously come back from his injury. He's obviously got his fitness back up. So yeah, I do expect with Ben White, I do expect him to probably give Arsenal some competition, and you'll want to start. So I think that competition with Ben White and Timber is going to be really interesting next season, and with as well what Arteta's going to choose as well. But for me, I think Timber I'd definitely keep as well, and Ben White I think definitely more of a squad player. Right now. Now, Sinchenko, I think, when I've done my videos, I spoke about Sinchenko. I think that I do feel like his time has come to an end now. I think that for me, I just feel as though he's been here for a while, if it would have worked out by now, it would have. I know he was great when he first came in, but I think for me, it's come to an end now. I mean, I know we could have played in midfield, but Arteta's never really wanted to do that. He's always played at left back. So yeah, for me, I just feel a bit kind of disheartened that it hasn't worked out. But for me, Sinchenko does have to go this season. I don't know how much money we'd get for him, and though his contract ends next year. Um, I think if we're being realistic, we'll probably look at 15 to 20 million. Probably more 15 million for him. I think that would be a very tough one to get a lot of money for him. And the way Milan have shown in that interest in him, but I just don't really see us getting much money for him, really. I think he's injury prone. He's obviously, like I said, suffered some setbacks. So I don't really know how much money we'd get for him. But as I said, I do think it's time to move on. I know it's good to have a bit of rotation in the squad. I know it's good to have that squad depth, but I do think it is time for a change. I do think it's time that things do move on with him. And yeah, obviously, if he does go, I will be grateful for what he's done for Arsenal. But I do think it is time for him to go somewhere else now, and him to move on with his whatever his next adventure is. So yeah, I personally would get rid of Sinchenko. And no squad depth's important, but I do feel as though things do need to change in the squad. So yeah, I would probably move him on if I did have the option. Now let's talk about Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu, yeah, he's not played for a very long time, and this is a real shame with Tomiyasu, because I really like him as a player. I think that he's so underrated. He's so good at what he does, but the big problem is his injuries. It's crazy how much he gets injured. Like, it doesn't feel real how much he gets injured. It's a real shame, because, as I said, we know what a great player he is. We know how good he can be. But him being injured is a massive setback for Arsenal. I think the only thing that I would say is that I don't think we would get much money for him at all. I think him having so many injuries is a big problem. I don't think he's coming back for a long time anyway. So it's going to be hard to get anything for Tomiyasu, if I'm being completely honest. I think that, like I said, he is a good player when he can play, but unfortunately, at this level, I just don't think that he can be fit enough. It's a real shame. I like Tomiyasu. When he first came in, I was so surprised at how good he was, but unfortunately, he just can't be that consistent player that we need him to be. And it is a real shame, as I said, because he can be so good. But obviously, I don't know last time he played at Arsenal. It's been a very long time, and it's a real shame, because As I said, I do see a really good player in him, but right now I think the best option would be to move him on. And obviously, when he can play, maybe he can play for a different league. It's a real shame because, as I said, I do really value him, but he really is. He's had the worst sort of injuries. It really has, and it's a real shame. I do feel bad for him, but ultimately, it is football, and we have to be quite ruthless. And I do think this summer we should be quite really ruthless because I do think we need quite a few changes at Arsenal, but I just don't know what changes we would really make. So yeah, for me, those are changes that I would make. But I don't know what Arteta would want to do, but I would make quite a few changes. We do need some changes at Arsenal. I think that's so important that we have some changes. But yeah, now let me go and speak about who is next. Big up to everyone that's watching us. I do really, really appreciate it. I'm going to talk about Kivior now. Now, Kivio's an interesting one because he's definitely grown on me. I know some fans at the start weren't too sure on him, but I definitely can say that he's really developed as a player. He's really proven himself, and yeah, I'm really impressed with the job that he's done at Arsenal. Since Gabriel had that injury, him taking over, he's really stepped up, and I think you can say he's been a reliable player for Arsenal. He's been consistent. I do sort of wonder as well. I know AC Milan have been interested in him, so I do wonder if the price tag goes up, would Arsenal get any money for him? I wouldn't. I think if a good price came up, I wouldn't say no, but I also think it would be good to keep him as a squad player. We do need that squad depth. As I said, when we want to rest some of our big players, it would be nice to maybe rest Gabriel Saliba and for him to be able to play. So I think it is an interesting one for sure. But I would personally keep Kivior because I think, as I said, he can definitely step in and do a good job when he needs to, when we need him to. So yeah, I do have confidence in him to be able to get the job done. And I think with that squad depth next season is going to be important. So that is just my view on that. I would like to see him stay at Arsenal. And I know that a while ago there was rumours about him, moving on, but I think now he's really shown how important he is to the team. He's really proven himself. So for me, I would keep him. Now Lewis Skelly, obviously, that is a no-brainer. For me, he's a big part of our future. I would love him to stay. I couldn't imagine him anywhere else, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. So I'm a big admirer of Lewis Skelly. I think he's done a tremendous job at Arsenal. And yeah, I couldn't imagine him being at another club. It would feel crazy. And I think, as I said, he's done a fantastic job at Arsenal so far. And this is only the start for Lewis Skelly, and I can't wait to see him develop as a player. It's going to be really exciting to see that. Now, the last defender I'm going to talk about is Calafiori. Now, Calafiori is someone that I feel as though a lot of fans, it's very hit or miss. Some fans really like him, some fans probably want him to move on. Um, Listen, it's been Calafiori's first season. I think people need to be understandable. I think defensively, he can make mistakes. He can be a bit of a liability, I suppose. He has made a few errors, but I also think that he is very good going forward in the attacking sense. So I think we need to give him that opportunity, and we need to give him a chance at the end of the day. So I think next season we should give him that chance. And if it doesn't work out, next season, then we could probably move him on. But I would like to keep him. I do like him. I think he's got some great qualities. Yeah, it's hard because going forward, I really like watching him. He's very good. So I do wonder if that's part of a game part of his game where we will see more of him in the attacking sense. I know he played as a striker when he was younger, so I don't think we'll ever see him play as a striker. But I can really say I personally do really like Calafiori. I think that he can score some really good goals in the attack, and yeah, I want to see how he goes this next season. I want to see how he develops as a player. I feel I feel fascinated by Calafiori, and I think he's quite young, and I do want to give him a chance and see how it goes for him. So for me, I would personally keep Calafiori. Obviously, everyone will have a different opinion on that. People might think he's not the right signing, but I also think as well if we did get rid of him, we would be quite light defensively because obviously Tierney's gone, and I do think Zinchenko should go as well. So I do think we might. I worry that we would be too light in the defence if we do get rid of these players, and I don't know if the club want to buy more defenders this summer. But I would personally keep Calafiori. Big up everyone that's watching this right now. I'm really really grateful. I'll just quickly go through what I've spoken about so far. Obviously, Raya should stay, Neto should loan, Saliba, Ben White, Kivior, Skelly, Tim Ben Calafiori, I said stay, and obviously Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, I think should move on. Now, I'm going to speak about the midfield. Obviously, there isn't an awful lot of midfielders right now. He is better centre back than left back. Yeah, I do. I completely agree with that. Absolutely. And big up Raymond. Now the midfield. I'm going to start off by talking about Thomas Partey because I think he's a player where I think some fans are up in the air about him. Some fans will have a different opinion. I personally, maybe this might be harsh, but if he were to move on from him, I wouldn't be mad. Maybe is now a good chance to get money for him. On the other hand, I also see it as, is it a chance for us to, you know, get the thing is that if we extend this deal, maybe for a year or two, I mean, he's getting older now. Do we want to get some money for him while we can? Because obviously, if you'll go on a free now, which is obviously I don't think what the club wants to do. So yeah, he's obviously. I presume next season with Mendy likely to come to Arsenal. I do think that he's probably gonna be more of a squad player. Mendy is not gonna just come in to sit on the bench, is he? So I probably expect him to be more of a squad player. But yeah, I generally not sure right now if I'd want Thomas Partey to stay or go. I think if he went, we'd probably have to replace him. That's another thing. I'd probably keep him, but only for another year. I don't think we should keep him for, a long time. He is getting old. I think he's like 31 now. So I think he's probably coming to the end of his time at Arsenal, if we're being honest. He has struggled to stay fit in a lot of his tenure at Arsenal, but last season he obviously did stay fit, which is obviously what we want to see and which is obviously great for Arsenal. Now, Declan Rice, that's obviously a no-brainer. He's been absolutely amazing. I've really enjoyed watching him during his time so far at Arsenal. He has been an incredible signing. And he's someone that you can really say has been worth all the money. He's just done a marvellous job at Arsenal. He's definitely a future captain one day for Arsenal, and I can't wait to see how he improves, develops. Yeah, I mean, for us to really get him for that price, he's really been worth all the money, and I can't speak highly enough of Declan Rice. I think in the Champions League games, he's that player that can really step up, that can really rise to the occasion. And I think we struggle with those type of players. I don't think we have many of those players that can really step up when it matters. And I can really say that he has done that for Arsenal, and I'm really proud of Declan Rice. And I mean, next season is going to get even better, which is obviously exciting for us. So yeah, Declan Rice for me should definitely stay. And now Martin Odegaard, I would keep him. I do think it's a bit unfair if people would want to sell him now. I'm not saying that he is our best captain. He's our best part of our future, but I do feel a bit sad for the season that he's had because we know his potential. We know how good he can be. So I think that's the only concern as fans that we've had because we know how good. We know what he can do at his highest level. He has been probably up there for our player of the season the last 2 seasons. So, of course, it has been quite disappointing these last few seasons when he hasn't been at his best. But yeah, I think with Odegaard, I would keep him. I want to see how he does next season. But I do probably think it is a good option to have a backup for him because I think if he's going to keep performing like he has been, then I think we do need to maybe bench him for a little while. But at the end of the day, he's a captain. He has been good for the last few years, and I think that people need to give him a bit more credit than what he does get because I like him. I think he has done a really good job, but I think last season he's just been so poor, and it's just really disappointing. Obviously, because we know how good he can be, but we haven't seen that enough, really, have we? So. Yeah, I hope that we can obviously get the Odegaard back next season that we've all seen that we all really admire. So yeah, Odegaard for me, I would keep him, but obviously he hasn't had the best season, and we know we want to see more from him. Big up. You're amazing. We love your live streams. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, so Odegaard for me, I definitely would like to keep him, see how it goes. If he has another bad season, then I probably would think about his future because I think he's had injuries, he's had setbacks, but that's really affected Arsenal in our attack, and we need to be doing much better with him. Now, I'm going to go on to talk about Mikel Merino. When we signed him, I think that his sort of first sort of maybe 5 to 10 games when he was playing, I don't think he was really did too much in the midfield. I think he struggled in that position, and then obviously Havertz got injured, and I thought, you know what, he's really developed, he's really improved, and his game has really changed. I think him in an attacking position really suits how he plays. I think that he's definitely got striker instincts. He's definitely got them, and that did help us. You know, him taking over from Havertz. I think that he has really good finishing and really good potential. So I think Mourinho's definitely one for the future. Would keep him as well. I do hope we get to continue to see more of him next season because, as I said, I do really like him. I do think that there's a good player in him. I just think it's about him playing in that right position and also getting the best out of him. But obviously, the striker position will probably change next season. So I presume he might go back to midfield in that position he was playing in. So I'm going to be interested to see what Arteta does play him next season. Like I said, I do see a good player in him. I just think that it's going to be hard to see what position he will play in next season. Kelly, shout out Celia, big up Celia. Thank you so much for your comment. Yeah, so for me, Moreno, I would definitely keep at Arsenal. Let me know if you guys would want to keep him as well. We've only really signed him. I think he's definitely got a good future ahead of him. So I think it would be crazy not to yeah, it'd be crazy not to, sell him. I think crazy to sell him. I think we have to, keep him at Arsenal and see where he can go, see where his future can be at Arsenal. Because obviously, I really like him, and he's a player that definitely has grown on me. And yeah, I think he's very good in the striker position. I think that's where he's really grown on me. I didn't think he had those sort of striker instincts, and I think some of the chances that he scored, I did think to myself at the time, would Havertz score them, and I'm not sure he would. So I think it's good to have different type of players like him that can really score from these opportunities. So yeah, for me, that is the midfield. I would definitely keep Moreno. So obviously Partey would probably keep, Odegaard keep. I'd probably keep all of our midfielders. I don't think Partey would have long left if we extended his deal. I think it is time for him to move on in the future. But yeah, obviously with Partey anyway, his future is up in the air anyway, so I don't really know what is happening with him. I think it's all just, speculation, rumours about what we're going to do. So obviously right now we don't know what his future holds. I know Arsenal and Arteta have had talks to him. Arteta does like him a lot. So obviously right now it's so hard to talk about it because I just don't know what the club are going to do about it. Now I'm going to speak about our attackers now. So big up everyone that's watching. I hope you're all enjoying my show so far. If you're new here, please don't forget to like this video. Do subscribe here too, and don't forget to comment down below any thoughts you guys may have as well. And yeah, now the attackers, obviously Saka's, that's just a no-brainer. Saka is a big part of our future. We all know that he is one for good. I think he's definitely a player that would stay here for maybe 5 to 10 more years. Obviously, that would be a dream. It'd be amazing to, for us to win so many more trophies with him at Arsenal. I know we've only won one FA Cup, and it's a real shame that we've not won more with him so far. But I definitely think he's one for the future, and I think every season he gets it better and better. So, for me, I'm personally excited to see how he does improve each season, how he does get better with Arsenal. And yeah, I love Saka. He's definitely my favourite at Arsenal right now. And yeah, he's really, come from the academy, really done so well, and I do feel really proud of him. No, obviously with Sterling, I don't think he'll be staying at Arsenal. I know it was only a loan anyway. I think it was good that it was a loan because, worst case scenario, if it doesn't go well, we can send him back to Chelsea. I do feel curious about his future, about where he would want to go next, because I think we all sort of know it hasn't really worked out at Arsenal. I don't think he really took the most of his opportunities that he got. I think he probably scored one goal against Bolton in the cup, and that was about it. I don't think he's done enough really to stay here at Arsenal, and I think as fans we know it hasn't worked out really. So yeah, for me that's just an obvious one. Sterling to move back to Chelsea, or I don't know where he'll go, but I do wish Sterling all the well. Now Gabriel Jesus is an interesting one. Yeah, it's obviously an interesting one to talk about because I don't think that he's this season he's had a really big injury, which is a real shame because I do think he could have helped us with a bit of confidence, or when we needed a goal, I definitely think he could have stepped in or played as a striker. I think he does need moving on pretty soon. Maybe next summer, this summer. I don't know. I mean, it's very difficult because I know there's a good player in him for sure, but I just don't think it has worked out at all. I think, yeah, he had some great potential. He can score some great goals, no doubt about that, especially in the Champions League. But I just think it hasn't worked out. And I think for me, it is best that we do move him on. Now, I'm going to go on to Havertz now. Havertz, I don't think I'd sell him. I think next season, I do think he has to have a big season for Arsenal. I would say that for sure. I think I'm hoping that we obviously do bring a striker in. I think that's obviously what we all want. Um, I think next season, I think if he didn't really score much, I probably would think to move him on. I think Havertz might be more of a squad player in the future. Obviously, I'm hoping that we do bring in a big striker that's going to, really take us to the next level. So I think we might see Havertz in midfield, but I think overall, I think with the future, I think we probably will maybe see him move on. But I think for maybe a season or two, I think he'd probably stay at Arsenal. So next season, I would keep Havertz, but I do expect big things from him next season. I do expect to see him get a lot more goals. I think he needs to be doing better with his finishing. I know he's had an injury, and that's been a real shame because we did need to rely on him, but obviously we couldn't rely on him when he wasn't here. So yeah, I think a big season ahead for Arsenal for him for sure. I think for now, I probably would keep him. Big up Raymond. We need to move on from Jesus, Trossard, and Havertz. Yeah, I do. Since I'm doing this video, it makes you realise like we do need to move on from quite a few players. We do have a lot of players that we could really move on from. Um, Now I'll speak about Trossard as well on it. It's an interesting one. I think with Trossard, I think if he left, I'd understand. Because he's been here a little while. I think when he has started, he hasn't always taken the most of his chances. There's times where he starts and he's really impactful, and there's other times he starts and you don't know he's playing. I also would say he's a good player to come off the bench as well. So it's a very tough one. And I'm going to talk about him and Martinelli now. Because they're both, I sort of feel like they're both linked together in the same sort of way. I think for Martinelli, I think he's probably more of a squad player. I think Martinelli knows himself that he hasn't really done enough this season. He hasn't scored enough. I think Martinelli would like to see him getting more goals, not just in the league, but in other competitions, in like the Champions League, in the Premier League, just in all competitions. So I would say that for me, I'd probably keep them both, or maybe get rid of Trossard. But I do think we need a left winger to make it harder for them to play. I think they need competition. I think our left side is a little bit weaker than the other sides. I think we need that healthy competition, and I think we are looking quite predictable in our attack on that side. So I definitely think it would be the right thing to see them. Like I said, I think competition's always healthy in football, and I think that so many of our positions need competition, especially the left-hand side. Um, it's really with Trossard. I've heard rumours about him wanting to stay, extend the deal, but I would also wouldn't be surprised if he did move on, because I think maybe a change would be good for him. So I'm torn on this one, I'm not going to lie, I really am. It's going to be an interesting one with Trossard going forward, what we do about him, because, like I said, he's been here for a while. Does he want to change? It must be frustrating as well for him being at a club where he does work hard, but we do finish quite short at the end. So like I said, he's a great finisher, but sometimes he can be inconsistent. I think it is. I think, like I said, left hand side is very predictable, and it can be quite frustrating at times. Um, so yeah, Martinelli, Trossard for me. I wouldn't mind if they both stayed. I'm still a little bit unsure, if I'm being honest, but I do think our attack does need a change. We look quite predictable, and I think it is getting quite frustrating. So for me, I would be more than happy to see a change in our attack, especially that left hand side for me really needs a change, like it really does. So for me, I wouldn't be too fussed if Arteta went, you know what, one of you need to go, or bring in a winger. We have been looking at wingers, if we're being honest, which is obviously a great from Arsenal, but we do need to change in our attack. We really do. Um, so yeah, I'm going to actually speak a bit about some of these players that we have on loan, because believe it or not, we actually have a few players that I haven't spoken about in a very, very long time. I mean, I've got a great example, Fabio Vieira. I obviously did a Q&A the other day, and someone asked me about him. Does he have a future at Arsenal? Um, with Fabio Vieira, I have heard rumours about him not being at Porto. I probably wouldn't bring him back, if I'm being completely honest. I think if it was to work out, as I said, if it was to work out, it would have worked out by now. And it's obviously a real shame that it's come down to this. I don't think he's ever going to be a starter, but he's definitely someone that I think could come off the bench and maybe bring a bit of energy, maybe create chances or something. So I definitely saw a bit of potential in him to really change the game or create different chances. There was a great pass that I loved from him. It was a little while ago when we played United. He did a great pass to Jesus, and I thought he has a good eye for those type of passes, but I don't think he is consistent enough to do those things. So yeah, I would probably loan. I'd probably loan Vieira, to be honest with you guys. I think that would probably be the better option for our future. I would, or we could sell him. I do want to see how much money we can get for him, to be honest. But yeah, I don't think he was really being a great signing for us, if we are being completely honest. Now Reece Nelson. Reece Nelson's an interesting one. I probably would loan him or sell him. I think him at Fulham would be a good move. I think that would definitely work, because I think he would definitely lighten up their attack. I think with Reece Nelson, he's definitely, like, when he's played for Arsenal in the cup games, he's someone that can definitely bring you that energy on the pitch, and I think he's definitely a good finisher. I think, unfortunately, Arsenal, he wouldn't start. Would he be a second choice? I mean, we've got Ranieri now, so I just don't really see his future being at Arsenal. Um, Let me know what you think of that Reece Nelson one, because I don't really see him coming back. I don't really see a future for him here at Arsenal. So yeah, that's another interesting one, isn't it? With Reece Nelson, because I'm sure he was sent on loan, wasn't he? And then it didn't really work out exactly. So I think that's the problem that we're having, is that we do loan out a lot of players. I mean, I did a video when I was speaking about it a while ago. I spoke about Tavares as well. Tavares, I'm pretty sure he's gone now, and we've sold him. Same Lokonga, I'm not sure what's going on with him, but that never worked out either in our favour. Let me try to think who else we had on loan. Like, we've had so many players. Marquinhos, I know he's gone now, which I think was the right thing to do. But Yeah, we've had so many players really, haven't we, that just haven't really worked out and that we've had to keep loaning them, we've had to move them on, and it can be hard to get money for them when they don't really get much of a chance to play. But I think with Tavares, I thought he had great potential, but I think defensively, obviously, was maybe his struggle. I think we've had some great players over the years, but I think the signings just maybe haven't worked out. It's hard for them to get that regular game time, really. If we're being honest, because it's hard to get into this Arsenal team right now, and really help us compete going forward. I just wanted to read out to those that are watching this right now. I just wanted to quickly go through what I've said about the keep, loan, sell. If you guys are just watching this now, I'm just going to quickly go through all of the players that I've spoken about. Obviously, Raya, I would keep. Neto, I would sell. Saliba, Ben White, and Gabriel, I would keep. Zinchenko, I would sell. Kivior, I would keep. I mean, with Kivior, if a good price came in, I would be open to that. Obviously, Skelly, Calafiori keep. Timber keep. I would probably sell Tomiyasu. I don't know if we would get any money for him due to the fact he's injury. He has so many injuries, but I do think we need to move him on. Thomas Partey, Odegaard, Rice, Marino would keep for next season. Saka, Saka Havertz, I would keep. Martinelli, Trossard, I'd probably maybe keep them or maybe sell one of them if we could get any money. I think Jesus needs to move on in the future. Sterling, I think that's done. I'm pretty sure. So those are the ones that I've gone through. Obviously, Nelson, I think would be great for Fulham or a team like Fulham to get him. I think that would definitely be a great deal. I think they need a player like him that could really help them go forward. So yeah, that's pretty much my keep, loan, sell. I will be doing a Arsenal women version of this, but for now, I'm happy to answer any of your questions you guys may have for me right now. Be it Raymond. Um, I think Fulham. Will resign. Reece on loan. Yeah, I hope so. That would be a good move. I don't know how much we'd get for him, but I think it's just about getting players out the door, and for his future, I definitely think that would be the right thing for him because, as I said, he wouldn't ever get much game time at Arsenal, and I think it would be unfair for his career for him to just sit on the bench and maybe get the odd game in the cup game. So I think for me, it would definitely be the right thing for Arsenal to do, and yeah, I definitely think he has a good. If Fulham do get him, I do hope that it is a successful transfer for him. Big up, Doug. I hope you're good. Sinchenko to Milan, I'm hearing. Yeah, obviously, I heard that as well. I mean, Kivior, Milan want Kivior too. I think with Sinchenko, I think he would possibly go there, but I think it's his wages that's the problem for them. So I just think that's the only thing that's stopping them from getting him. So I don't know if it would go through. Obviously, I think it's the right thing for Arsenal to move him on. I think we need to get rid of some of these players. I do think it's obviously good for us to have players that are maybe more bench players and maybe more squad players, but I think Zinchenko, yeah, he's great in midfield, but we've never tried that and often enough. So I think in left back, it just isn't really it for him now. And I think, yeah, I do think his time at Arsenal is done, and I would be happy if Arsenal did move him on going forward. So, yeah, I think that would be a good deal. I don't think we'd get much of Zinchenko, though. I think we're probably looking at 15, 20 million at the best. I don't know what the price would be, how much they would want for him, but I don't think we're getting much of him. I really don't. Raymond says, Sal Tavares, Sambi, Vieira. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think that. I just say, yeah, their future isn't Arsenal. I think, like I said, if any of these players would have worked out Arsenal by now, it would have happened. And Lokonga, listen, I think he's a player that could really have potential somewhere. I think the problem with Lokonga is that, as I said, he gave the ball away far too much and he was a bit of a liability. But as I said, I do think he is a good player. Vieira, as I said, it hasn't worked out now, and it would have if it happened. Tavares as well, I think defensively was probably his weakness, but yeah, going forward, he definitely had some great strengths. Big up Ronald, Jesus next winter or summer, Tommy too. Yeah, I think when they've had a big injury, I'm not expecting us to just throw them out the door and say you've got to go now. Obviously, when their fitness is better, when they're feeling better, I think we should move them on. I probably, like I said, I'm with you. I probably would sell them both when they can actually play football again. But obviously, right now it'd be awkward just to get rid of them when they can't really play. But I do think Jesus. I think I'd probably say for a year now. I probably wanted him to go because I don't think it's. I just don't think it's working at Arsenal. I think he's past his time at Arsenal. I think you can outgrow players. I think we've outgrown him. We've outgrown so many players. So in my mind, I think that them two need to move on. It's a shame with Tomiyasu because if he had the odd injury or the odd thing, I wouldn't have. I'd have been happy to have him at Arsenal for a few years, but he's not. You need players that you can rely on that can be consistent, and Tomiyasu just isn't that. And that's a real shame because I loved Tomiyasu when he first came in. I've really always liked him. Watching him defensively, he's never been afraid to take on players. But we have the worst luck with injuries. We really do. He just isn't able to help us. He's not able to be consistent, and that's what he needs. Um, you look at Liverpool, Man City. They would have gotten rid of these players by now. So we have to have that same mindset as a big club to move on these players. Obviously, like I said, I'm not as expecting Arteta to throw them out the door now and say you've got to go. But obviously, maybe like the January window, maybe move them on, help them find a club. Then so yeah, I definitely think we've got to. I think we definitely have to move on quite a few players because I think you look at when I'm doing this video, it makes me think how many players just haven't worked out at Arsenal, like the loans that we've done. I mean, Marquinhos when he came in, I don't know. I expected Arteta to give him a bit more of a chance. He never really got a chance with Arteta. I'm not really saying he would have fitted at Arsenal either, but I think with Neto as well, he never got much of a chance. So I think some of these players just haven't really worked out. I think when you come into the league and you come in to compete for a title, it's a very big risk for them to come from a different league. I think Vieira. I think with Fabio Vieira, I really expected a lot more from him. I think players do take time to adapt to the league, and that's perfectly fine. But I'll always give it a player maybe another season. I mean, with Mourinho, I definitely saw potential in him, and I think he definitely has earned his right to be at Arsenal now. Calafiori is an interesting one. People don't always like him. People have a different opinion on Calafiori, but I personally like him. I think he has a good future ahead of him, but he just needs to really maybe cut out the mistakes in this game. But yeah, I don't know who scouted Sambi, my lord. That guy is rubbish. Yeah, he didn't. I know, like I think pre-season is different to actually the league because with pre-season you've not got much to lose. I always felt in the pre-season games he used to score a lot, and then when it came to the actual league, it's really weird because I quite like Sambi at first, but then it just kept giving the ball away. I think we were quite weak in that midfield, and yeah, I think he struggled to adapt in our midfield, which is a real shame because obviously I really liked Sambi. But yeah, the problem with these players is how much money we're going to get for Vieira for the Congo as well. It's a real shame. Yeah, Tavares never really worked out. I was really hoping that it would for him because I really liked him, but like I said, I just think he was another one where, when I think it was not. I'm sure it was not in Forest we played, and he did that terrible pass to that keeper, and Arteta took him off at before half time, and I felt awful for him, and probably was a bit of bad management for Arteta, but also he just defensively he was so bad. He did have to come off in a way. So yeah, some players do adapt to the league, some players don't. It's really interesting. I feel fascinated by all these players that have come that have struggled. Some players have done really well though. That's the thing because you never know how these players are going to do when they come from a different league. Are they going to, adapt straight away, or are they going to really struggle? And that's why I love buying players that have already known the league very well and have always quite adapted quite well. Um, But it's been really interesting to see how all these players have, done. Obviously this is my players that I think we should move on, but I don't think Arteta would move on many of these players. I don't see many players leaving the summer, if I'm being honest. Obviously the main ones I've said, the loans that I think should happen, like Reece Nelson. I think we'll probably see Reece Nelson go on loan or actually sell. Um, I definitely think he'll go back to maybe Fulham or I don't know, another team, but because I don't think he has a place to really get regular minutes at Arsenal. But I think it's going to be really tough, really, to see if we can get any money for some of these players because with Zinchenko, I definitely think we can get a bit of money for him because he has played a bit this season in cup games in the Champions League. He has had appearances, but again, we're not really going to get a lot of money for him. I think 15 million, 20 million would be at a push. 15 million probably likely. But as I said again, it's going to be so hard to get money for these players that are injury prone, that have not had regular minutes. And it's going to be hard to kind of generate that money in that area. But yeah, obviously, I'm interested to see what Arteta does do with some of these players. As I mentioned before, Kivior's been interested by obviously Milan. I probably would keep Kivior. I think we do need to keep some of these players at Arsenal. I mean, I know some of these players won't be, our starters, but I think having that rotation would be important for us. But at the same time, like I said, we could get some good amount of money for him as well. So I'm just fascinated to see what what we could do. Um, yeah, I'm with you, Raymond. 15 million for Zinchenko. Yeah, I think that's probably the most we'd probably get for him. I mean, people might say 20, 25 million, which would be great. I mean, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but did we get him for about 30 million, 32 million, or was it less than that? I think if we can get 20 million, that'd be probably good. But we didn't actually spend that much on Zinchenko anyway. I think for me, 30 million isn't too much on a player like him because he was very good in his first few seasons at Arsenal. I know I say this a lot, but Tierney was good and he took over Tierney's place. And I think he really did prove himself. But unfortunately, it just sort of fizzled out, I feel as though. And we really saw defensively, it was probably his weakness. But I think Arteta never really gave him that chance to play in midfield, which is a real shame because I think he had a lot of potential in that midfield. And I think Arteta doesn't like to change things or doesn't like to try new things. So yeah, it is a shame that position it didn't really work out for us to play him there. Um, so yeah, hopefully we can get a bit of money for Zinchenko. I also don't think Arsenal would just sell him and settle for maybe say the gauge was 10 million for example. I don't think Arteta and Berta would just settle for that. I think they would want a good amount of money. So I think we're going to have to see how much we could get for him. But I definitely think that his future has finished at Arsenal. Yeah, he can be a good squad player, but I don't think that's enough anymore. I think he does need to, move on. I think we need to see a change really. Big up AWFC fan, good video, like and subscribe. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for your support. Yeah, guys, please don't forget to like, do subscribe, do comment as well. I'm going to stay on here for a little bit longer today. I did do a shorter video yesterday. But yeah, today I'm more free. I have a lot of time today, so I'm going to be on here for a little bit longer, for maybe half an hour more, or whatever. But if you guys have any more questions and you want to send me in, as I said before, I am going to do a separate one regarding the women's team, as that'll be quite a big one to do as well. But yeah, obviously that'd be great to do. I realised when I've been looking back on my videos, I didn't have a chance to do this type of video, and obviously right now the transfer window news, it's pretty much the same sort of stuff, and I thought I don't want to keep repeating myself. I want to do something different today. So yeah, obviously doing these type of videos is always fun. But yeah, that is pretty much my keep, loan, sell. I hope I haven't missed any of these players out. I don't think I have because I was looking back and it made me realise, gosh, we have a lot of defenders at Arsenal. We really do. You do forget how many defenders you actually have because Arteta has built our team pretty much from the defence now, and I think we need to start looking through for the attack for us to bring the attacking players in. So obviously, I really hope Arteta can start start signing some attacking players now. Um, Obviously, right now, not much is happening. It's just pretty much Sasco Gokras debate, which is interesting. I just don't know what is going to happen there. I don't know who we're going to get. I mean, Gokras probably looks more likely now. If I had to pick Gokras, I probably think he's more likely to happen. But obviously, right now, it's so hard to tell who's going to come to Arsenal. I'd be happy with either, as I've said on many videos. I think either of them would help Arsenal out for sure. But yeah, I just hope that we can start signing players, because you look at people around you, like they're doing good business, and we're just here just waiting for waiting for things to happen. Um, so yeah, we're gonna have to wait for that for sure. Big up to everyone as well. And yeah, guys, if you've got any questions, do send through. I have gone through all of my keep players loans, so um, and yeah, I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer tonight, as I said. So yeah, obviously I'm happy to answer any of these questions, and yeah, I'll do one of the women's ones maybe on Monday, or tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. I'll be back on that. Obviously, the women's transfer window also opens very soon, so I'll be doing transfer videos, obviously on the women's team, which I'm very excited to do. So yeah, there's going to be quite a bit of content for me coming up. Big up AWFC fans. Got another question. Who would be your ideal signing? I think if I had to pick, there's two players that I think of when I get asked that. Rodrigo would be a great signing for Arsenal. I think, like I said on many videos, that would be a signing that I'd be like, wow, I'd be wowed by. He's definitely going to help Arsenal in the attack. He definitely improves this Arsenal team. I also would love Isak. I think that everyone knows that he'd probably be my first choice. I don't think we're getting him at all, which is obviously really sad because I like him a lot. I think he would definitely be amazing. Like, as I said, I could definitely see him as our future Henri, but I just don't think we're getting him. Yeah, I think if I had to pick out ideal signings, those are definitely the players that come to my mind. I think, like I said, Rodrigo would be great. I think he would be a really good signing. Like, can you imagine him at Arsenal? I do think if we brought him in, we would have to pay a lot of money for him, though his wages would be a lot. And I just don't know if Arsenal would do that, if Arsenal would buy him for that amount. So yeah, I think for me, it'd have to be him. Any striker really that's gonna really take Arsenal to a different level. Um, I mean, I wouldn't. I would have, in January when we had a chance, I would have happily had Watkins as well on loan. I think he would have been a great chance. I'd have loved to see him live out his dream of playing for Arsenal. So yeah, there's definitely a few there that I would love. I think Isak definitely would be that one for me, because he's obviously in the Premier League and he knows what it's like. He's got that experience, and I think he would know what it takes, to take this team to that next level in these big games. I mean, when you watch them in that cup game against Liverpool, it's these fan moments that take you to that next level. Him taking this chance, him scoring that big final. I mean, we just need players that can help us in these big moments, which is what we don't have, which is what we're crying out for right now. Um, so yeah, him, Rodrigo. I do actually I know I spoke about him the other day, but I do quite like Alanga as well. I think I just want us to bring in a player in the attacking sense that would really excite us, that really would make us look unpredictable. Because I think a few seasons ago with Arsenal, you could probably say about us, you don't know what we're going to do next, you don't know what our next move is. And I think in our attack right now, we do look quite predictable. You do know what Arsenal are going to do next, and that's obviously it's a bit frustrating to hear, isn't it? And it's frustrating for us to watch this sort of football every week. So yeah, I definitely think for me that it would be nice to bring in a player that would make us look less predictable, that would make us look more exciting. Um, so yeah, for me, Rodrigo, Isak would definitely be those players for me that I would love to see at Arsenal. But I definitely don't think Isak's happening. I don't think any of them are really going to happen, but I can dream. It's literally a dream, to have any of them at Arsenal. And I've got to hope and pray that one of them would come to Arsenal one day. I think Rodrigo is probably the more likely option. Um, but I just don't think it would really happen, would it, guys? I just don't know if he would want to come to Arsenal. But listen, in the attack, can you imagine us with him, with a good striker? That would really be like the dream team for Arsenal. I'm not gonna lie, him coming to Arsenal. So yeah, fingers crossed he can come here, that we can bring in a good striker. Obviously, Gokras would also be a great signing for sure. I would love Gokras at Arsenal, and that would be a very very difficult signing to get. I think I know Arsenal have put a bid in him, but they obviously really want a lot of money for him. So I don't know if Arsenal are really going to put in what they want. I know they want 80 million, which is kind of a lot of money these days. So I don't know if Arsenal would actually do that. Can you see? Can we all see Arsenal really doing that? I mean, it's not just if we just needed one player, then fair enough. But we need quite a lot of other players to improve our attack. We need to improve in so many different areas. So I feel like for me, I think Arsenal would do that if we didn't need to improve in our attack, but we need maybe two or three wingers, probably two strikers too as well. This is obviously in an ideal world. I mean, I know Arteta have probably different views, but I do think we need quite a few players in the attack if we really want a great chance of succeeding next season. But I don't want to be like unrealistic, but we do need a lot of new players next season. Um, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, that would be like the dream. Those signings would be amazing. I think Rodrigo. I don't think I never really imagined talking about Rodrigo to Arsenal, but now I feel like it feels like it could happen. If I think if we gave them the right price, then I think they would take it. But I think it's all about the wages, the money. That's all it's down to. If Arsenal could match the wages, match the price, then I definitely think we would pay that money for him. But it's a lot of money, isn't it, really? And I do think he is worth the price, don't get me wrong, but I think it would be very hard to get him to come to Arsenal because of how expensive it would be. But he would definitely fit in Arsenal. He would definitely improve this team massively. So I'm just hoping and praying that we can get him to come to Arsenal. Um, but yeah, Zubimendi, I'm hoping as well that gets announced, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of the saga of not knowing if we're going to get him. If what is happening with him, is he going to Madrid? But I'm pretty sure he is going to be at Arsenal when it comes to pre-season. So I'm definitely excited to see how he can help us next season. But I'll be happy when we've actually announced our players for the summer. I know right now the window is shut, so not much is really happening. We're just sort of waiting to see what is happening with Arsenal. But I definitely want to see what we can do with our future next season. But yeah, that was a very long answer to that question. I do apologise, but yeah, my dream signings are definitely Rodrigo, Isak, I guess Osherman, any kind of prolific striker really that would really massively improve Arsenal. Um, any attackers that excite me. As I said, Alanga would be a great signing for sure. I definitely see him fitting in at Arsenal. I think we just need players that can make our attack look less predictable, look more exciting. And I do think some of these players definitely fit that profile. So I'm really hoping that we can bring in some different players, in the season. Um, but I know also when I've been doing these videos, we have been linked to players like Guehi, which I'm not gonna lie, they would be great squad players, but we do need to focus on the attacking players. And I'm really hoping Arteta has that in his mind, that we focus on these attacking players, because I think we definitely have a defence to win the league, to win some great things, but we need attackers to help us win. We need attackers to get us over that line. I mean, if we would have had, maybe Rodrigo or whoever we'd have had, that would have helped us get over that line. But our biggest problem is that the players that we have right now aren't able to get us over that line on their own. So yeah, we need to really focus on the attacking players. And I've said this before in many videos, but I'm just fascinated to see who kind of Berta wants, because Arteta and Berta might have different views, different agreements, and different thoughts on these things. But I would definitely like Gokeres. I mean, people obviously on here when I've done live streams have so many different views on Sesko. I mean, I think Sesko would help Arsenal, no doubt about that. But also, is he a project player? I mean, he's definitely going to get us a lot of goals if he came to Arsenal, but is he going to get us 20 goals a season? That's another thing. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what our options will be. I know Arsenal have put in a bid for Gokras, as I mentioned before, but I don't really know what's happening from there. If we're going to put in another bid, if we're going to go back, if it's going to be back and forwards with this situation, because I just want us to sign someone pretty soon. I think we're all tired of waiting. I think it would be nice for us to get a player like before pre-season. So, as fans, we know that they can obviously get their training in. As fans, we can feel pretty relaxed about the situation. I think some fans, whoever we do sign, will always have a problem with it. Everyone will have a different view. I mean, if we sign Gokras, people might complain about that, but I would be pretty happy with Gokras. I'm not going to lie. I think that would be what I would call a really good signing. And yeah, I mean, he would want a lot of money. He might be paying a lot of wages for him, but I have no doubt that he would really improve this Arsenal team and help us going forward. So yeah, for me, I would definitely think Arsenal need a lot of players. I have sort of gone on a rampage now about the window. But if you guys have any questions you want to send in for me, I'll probably stay on here till 7:30 possibly tonight. Um, but as I said, I've done a video now. I've pretty much spoke about at the start of the video about the players that I would keep, sell, loan. And I will be doing a version of this with the women's team. And with the women's team, we have already announced players that have gone, like Tia Goldie, Lena Hurtig, etc. But yeah, obviously, I will do a version of the women's ones for the women's team, because I think that'd be obviously great to chat about that as well. Because I love doing content with both Arsenal women, both the men's team as well. Um, but obviously, right now, transfer window, it's a bit boring, as I said. Nothing much is really happening, and I really do hope that we can start signing some players, because that's what the transfer window is about. I want to see us get excited. I want us to see us bring in some good players for sure. So, um, yeah, I hope that we can. Yeah, I want as fans, I want to feel excited about things. I want us to bring in some great players. Um, so yeah, fingers crossed, guys, that we can feel excited again. I just want, I just want some new players to come into Arsenal, and um, yeah, I mean, when Declan Rice came in, that's the sort of player that you'll feel excited about. I just want to feel that feeling again. And obviously, the window will open back up again in a little while. But obviously, right now, we're just having to be patient. We're having to just wait. Obviously, Liverpool and Man City have done quite good in the business. I know Spurs are looking for other players. So a lot is going on with a lot of the other clubs, if we are being honest. So that's obviously been exciting. Big up AFC always. Who do you think Arsenal will sign? A good question. Well, obviously, I did a video a few days ago about not Tay Goldie. I keep saying Tay Goldie. Um, Taylor Hines in Liverpool, who is a fullback. So I think our probably first signings will probably be Chloe Kelly, her. I think next season, I think a lot of these players that we have now are gonna remain at Arsenal. I think that's probably what we're gonna see, which is obviously a good thing. And I'll be happy about that, because listen, we've just won the Champions League. That team is very special, and it's got so much potential as well. Next season, we could win even more. So I feel like with the team that we have now, I don't expect us to bring in tons of other players anyway. Um, but yeah, obviously, if we could see Chloe Kelly sign Arsenal, that would be a dream come true. That'd be amazing. No, Arsenal in talks of signing her, permanently. So that's exciting as it is, and obviously, I'm very, very delighted about that happening, which is obviously it's positive news going in the right direction for Arsenal. So I think Chloe Kelly, Taylor Hines will be the first sort of news that we'll see. But other than that, I hope that we can actually sign a backup goalkeeper. I think that would be very crucial because obviously, if we are being honest, I don't think Zinsberger is reliable sometimes at second choice. I mean, we're lucky as well that Dom Lassar was able to play in the final. We're lucky that she could actually play. Um, but yeah, I think it's definitely fascinating to see how good she was with her injury, how she was able to stay fit and play in that final. She was so important for us in that final. I don't think we would have won it without her. So yeah, I definitely think that we will see maybe a few players. I don't think it'll be like a massive window. I probably would say that obviously with Taylor Heim, she could be covered for Emily Fox. Maybe we could do for defender, possibly. I know we've obviously got quite a few there. I think the midfield could possibly do with someone a little bit different. In also women's attack as well. I mean, I think we are pretty good. I think we just maybe need one or two maybe attacking players, different players. But yeah, I think you know what look at our front line. You look at Russo, you look at Ford, Kelly. That is a winning front line. That is a front line that really would win you a lot of things. And won us the Champions League last season, so it's a very good front line. And you look at our midfield, Marnham, Little, Cardante, like that is great. So I don't think we need too many changes. I would probably just like us to add a few more missing pieces to the puzzle, I'd say. And then obviously you look at our defence, Arsenal women's defence, you've got Ruben Moore, you've got Emily Fox, Katie McCabe, Steph Catley, etc. So we have quite a solid defence as it is. But I think we just need to going forward. We just need to hopefully just add a few missing pieces. Maybe I think our squad depth. I would like to see our squad depth improve and go stronger. But I think for us, I feel quite happy and feel quite content with how our players are. I mean, I know obviously, pardon me, I know Lena Hurtig's gone, and I think that was probably the right thing because for me, Lena Hurtig, we all know she wasn't really in the team. I think she had some personal issues going on. I'm happy that she's in a much better place now, but I think with her that wasn't a surprise. With Taya Goldie, neither was a surprise because she was doing really well at London City Lionesses. With Amanda as well, she was a very important player for us at one point as well. So I was quite shocked she left, if I'm being honest. But I also think it'd be great for her to get some game time somewhere else because we know our back four, they all deserve to be there and they've done such a great job. So I definitely think we need to improve in squad depth going into um, the season coming up. But yeah, I do feel excited about Arsenal women's future. Obviously, I'm still not over the fact we've won the Champions League. It feels so surreal. Like it feels like a dream. I still get goosebumps thinking about it. Like it doesn't in my head. It still doesn't feel real that we're actually, we've won the Champions League with Renee. Like it's still, yeah, it hasn't sunk in yet, and I'm just so proud of the team for really doing their best. And to be Barcelona is, like I said, it hasn't sunk in yet, and I still feel in awe of everything that happened that night. And yeah, I think it makes you think about next season, about what we can achieve. And yeah, I'm really hoping that next season that we can obviously challenge Chelsea. I want us to go to the wire of Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea are really hard to beat in the league because they're so competitive. And I think Arsenal, Chelsea, and City have always been those sort of teams that have had the best sort of players. And I think with Rennie, I feel like now we have all that faith in her that we can obviously go on. We've won the Champions League, which is probably one of the best things you'll ever win in football. I mean, Chelsea women have tried to win it for many years now, and for us to actually do it is so special. So, yeah, obviously, as I said, I hope that Chloe Kelly can be our first signing. And yeah, I think it would be great to see if we do. I think she will stay at Arsenal. I do get that impression from her. I do think she seems quite happy with us, which is obviously great to hear. Um, I think she seems like she's in a good place with us. So I think regarding Chloe Kelly, I definitely think she, Taylor Hines, they'll be the first sort of signings. But yeah, it would be good to see us make some really major signings for Arsenal next season. Because I just want us to go in the right direction, and Chelsea will improve. Chelsea will definitely make big signings. So I want us to do that, go the next step further and keep on improving. And yeah, obviously for me, obviously the Champions League again, that'd be great. But I just want us to get the league is the one I would love right now. The league is the one that I want us to go for. So I think we've got to go for that one next season. Yeah, I really hope we can challenge Chelsea. I really hope that um, really do it. But yeah, big up to everyone as well. As I said, I know I'm chatting about a few different things, but I am going to speak now about both. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them about the men and the women's team. Um, so yeah, big up to everyone that's watching this. And please, guys, if you are watching this, please do like and do subscribe here. I will probably stay on here for 10-15 more minutes. I have been on here for an hour, which has gone like that. It's gone so quick when I do these type of videos. I think it's always been great. I love interacting with you guys. It's so much fun, and I do enjoy these type of videos. So thank you all so much for popping, guys, asking questions tonight as well. I've really, really enjoyed doing that as well. So thank you all so much for your support. As I said, do drop in any questions you guys may have. I'm happy to answer any questions. If it might be the women's team, it might be, with the men's team, happy to talk about it. It doesn't have to be a transfer window. So yeah, I'm happy to end this bit with a Q&A. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask any other questions. I have one here actually. Big up AFC always again for sending in the questions. Can we win the league, the men and the women's? Obviously, with the women's, I think it's always so competitive with Chelsea women, so I think it's going to be very tough to do it. But you look at us now; we've just won the Champions League. Like, we can do anything. I really do believe that this team has sort of gave us that mindset that we can go on, obviously achieve anything that we want to. So yeah, I definitely think we have so much potential to win anything. The FA Cups, I think the FA Cup's always special to win. I think the Champions League is probably the best trophy you could win. I think there's so many other competitions that I'd love to win, but yeah, the league would be very, very special. We have been quite close to the league a few seasons back, but we haven't won it for a little while. So for the women's team, it would feel very, very special if we went on and won it. But I do believe in the scene that we have so much potential. And Renee's done a great job. In the half a season she's been in here, she's won the Champions League against probably the best team in the world. So, yeah, that does feel quite crazy. With the men's team, I think for me to answer it, it all depends on the summer. If Arsenal, for example, hypothetically, if we brought in, say, Gyökeres, Zubimendi, Rodrigo, and maybe, I don't know, Alanga or someone else. I think we need probably two strikers or two I think we need one big goal scorer, one that might be maybe back up, maybe two wingers, midfield. I'd probably say to you, we've got this. I've got a great feeling about this. So, but my also biggest doubt is even if we say we brought in Rodrigo, Sesko, and Gyökeres, my biggest worry is Arteta has struggled to get us over the line. So why would this time be different? I mean, I know these last few seasons we haven't had that striker. We've never really replaced Aubameyang. So that has been our problem that stopped us from getting there. But I'm not sure I'm 100% convinced that Arteta can get us over the line. I mean, even in the FA Cups, he's never really done that for us. So why would it be different now? That would be my only doubt that I would have in my mind. With winning the league next season, I think it would be quite difficult. So yeah, I do have some doubts for sure. But yeah, I think for both teams, I think Arsenal are going to feel probably more optimistic about that. It'd be hard to catch Chelsea, but I think with the men's team, I think we just have to buy that striker, that prolific goal scorer, and a winger or two, and I'd feel more confident in the answer. But obviously, Man City and Liverpool have done really well this, so far this window. They've really brought in some great players so far. They've been quite I don't know what the word is, but they're doing things quite quick, and for some reason, Arsenal have always done things very slow, and we're not doing things very fast. I know we've put in a bid in, which I'm happy about, but I just think we need to make sure we bring in the right striker for the season. So obviously, right now it's so hard to say if I think we can win the league. I definitely see Man City and Liverpool are definitely going to improve next season, which will make it difficult for us to go on and win the league. But if we do the right business, then there's no reason why we can't feel confident and we can't go on and win the league ourselves. Um, but yeah, I hope we can win the league. I hope we can. We've just got to have a successful summer. I'm hoping, obviously, the next few days, obviously, news could break, things can happen, and I will be doing updates if any updates do happen. Obviously, the window isn't open, but yeah, if the women's window, I'm pretty sure opens on the 16th. Do correct me if I'm wrong though. That does open, which is obviously really positive news. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to see who we could bring to Arsenal. And I will be doing a women's transfer videos as well. I'll try and get some guests as well. I am going to end this, guys, in about 5 minutes. I've been on here for an hour already, so yeah, I wanted to do a longer type of video tonight, as I did one yesterday that was quite shorter. But I'm really grateful as well for you guys that are joining in. I'm happy to answer any last questions as well. And let's try and get 30 likes on this video, guys, if you're watching. Do you like this video? Do you subscribe? Do all of that, as I'm near 3.3k. So yeah, obviously today I did a keep, learn, sell. I will be back soon doing a women's version, because obviously it's exciting to talk about that. Pretty much a lot of the players I'll probably keep, but I'm pretty sure there'll be a few that I might want to move on. But yeah, I think this video has shown me that I probably would get rid of quite a few of the men's players. I think with the men's players, there's quite a few players that do need to move on. Really, that I think there's a time and a place when you would move them on, but I do think we need to see a few changes with them. And I know for squad depth, it's important to keep some players, but I do think now would be the time really to move on some of the players at Arsenal. So yeah, I think it's definitely interesting to do these type of videos. I'm gonna just go over it one more time to those that have quickly joined. Obviously, Raya, I said keep, Neto, Sal, Saliba keep, Ben White keep, Sinchenko, Sal, Kivior keep, Skelly keep, California keep, Timber keep, and Tomiyasu Sal. I would sell Tomiyasu probably when the time is right. With Partey, the God Rice, I would keep all of them. Obviously, um, Martinelli, Trossard, Havertz, I'd probably keep, and Jesus and Sterling probably move on. And obviously, with the loan players, I'd probably sell them. And obviously, would like to see Nelson get some game time somewhere else. So yeah, that is pretty much my video regarding that today, guys. I am going to end this in a moment now. I have been live for quite a while, but I just wanted to thank you all for watching my show today and for coming on. And yeah, it's been so much fun, guys. So thank you all for your support. I hope you all have a lovely evening, wherever you are in this wonderful world. But I'll be back very soon. As I said, I'll be doing a women video regarding this one, so I will be back doing that. But yeah, don't forget to like this, do subscribe, share this video if you can, and I will see you all very soon. Bye, guys.